Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back here to your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network, here on YouTube.com. Again, as always, I'm your play-by-play broadcaster, Brandon Morvillius. Alongside here with me is cameraman Jordan Redbeard McCoy. Here with our 2022 IHSAA Class 2A North Semi-State preview show here tonight. Again, just going to be breaking down Saturday's action there between the number 1 Andrean 59ers and the number 2 Wapahani Raiders coming up there at 1 p.m. there from Frankfort High School there at Case Arena, which is quite the big arena. There's no doubt about that. So we're really looking forward to heading out there and playing from Frankfort there coming up on Saturday. But leading up into this game here today, or on Saturday, Wapahani obviously had a great day last Saturday. Took down Madison Grant and Lafayette Central Catholic. Both teams really playing at the top of their game. Madison Grant has been great all year long. Wapahani played them earlier on in the season, about the midway point of the year. And then Lafayette Central Catholic played a great game the first game of the day when they took down South Adams, which was, I believe, heavily favored probably to win that game. And Lafayette Central Catholic took it to them, beat them in 4 sets. And really, it was a great win there for the Knights. And then, you had that the Regional 10 championship game. And obviously, you're hoping that Wapahani wins it. But, if you've seen the way Lafayette Central Catholic played, I thought they played fairly well there in that first game. And so I thought, they could definitely pose a little bit of a problem for us in that championship. But, it was back and forth a little bit. But I thought really for the most part there, Wapahani from start to finish was on top of our game. Now, sure, were there some things that, you've got to kind of clean up a little bit and get better? Absolutely there is. But I think for the most part, the Raiders played pretty well there on Saturday. And like I said, I was able to claim the Regional 10 championship crown. So a big win, or a big couple of wins there this past Saturday. Now fast forward to this coming Saturday at Frankfort, taking on an Andrean team that has quite a bit of talent, not only up front, but they're in the back row as well, and has played very well. This is definitely going to be quite the challenge, and I think this is definitely a game that a lot of people circled on the calendar that, when the state tournament, the pairings as far as that went, when it started getting going and sectional started, everybody kind of thought, if these two teams get there, this is going to be a special game to watch and to be a part of. And I think that it's definitely going to live up to that. Both of these teams are pretty evenly matched. I wouldn't necessarily say that Andrean, I wouldn't necessarily say they play a tougher schedule than us, but they do play some tough teams. But again, Wapahani, they played that tougher schedule this year to set themselves up for games like this, to where you're playing a top-tier team, playing at their, at their highest level right now, and they're going to be a tough task to overcome and to defeat them on Saturday. There's got to be a lot of things that go right, and so hopefully Wapahani, uses this, this whole week here they've had a practice to be able to recover, hopefully get some girls healthy, and be ready to play there on Saturday afternoon there at 1 p.m. So we're going to go ahead and take a look here at Andrean. So again, we're not going to be giving away any stats of Wapahani. Obviously, all of you out there in Raider Nation know what to expect from the Raiders. You've seen it all season long. You know what they do. Stat-wise, again, we want to make it as difficult as we can for our opponent to gather information. So we're not going to give out any information on Wapahani, but we are going to talk about the Andrean 59ers. So again, as of right now, 29-5 record on the season. As I mentioned, number 1 in Class 2A. Wapahani number 2. Again, it's going to be quite the battle. But when you look at this Andrean team, leading into Saturday's game, they have a total of 1,128 kills, which is equivalent to 11.5 kills per set. They have a hitting percentage of .277, which that is just under what Wapahani has of .291. So I will give you that stat there of the Raiders. Digs, okay, this is a big-time number, and this is a significant number over what Wapahani's is, and that is digs. Okay, they have 1,740 digs, which is, again, equivalent to 17.8 digs per set. So that means, well, number one, you could measure up to a couple different things. That, number one, maybe the blockers aren't exactly quite doing their jobs, or maybe they are. They're slowing the ball down, and the defense is really working behind them. But not only that, a lot of these other teams, they're getting a lot of swings in here. So to have 1,740 compared to Wapahani's 1,486, it's really making the defense work. And so that's going to be one of the biggest keys, and I'll talk about that here in a little while. From Wapahani's standpoint, you've got to make this defense work. You've got to make them earn every single point out there on the floor. So that is a very important key. I really like to look at from a defensive aspect. This is pretty solid defense, and they're able to find a way to get it done. They have 1,023 assists, which Macy Bowden by herself has more than that. And then total blocks, 150. They have 316 serving aces, also 193 serving errors. Again, some key players really to kind of hone in on here a little bit for the 59ers. Just some that I picked out that I thought could make the biggest impact on the game. Number one was Kara Schutz, 3 kills, 36 aces, 491 digs, 75 assists. Those 491 digs leads the team in that statistical category. Next is a big-time heavy hitter, and that is Marin Sanchez. 340 kills on the season, which leads the team in that statistical category. 35 aces, 24 blocks, 261 digs, and then 8 assists. And then the next one we have here is Varia Rahoisia. That's a heck of a mouthful of a name, I'll tell you that much. But she has 38 kills, 22 aces, 12 blocks, 106 digs, also 424 assists on the season. So she's one of two young ladies that has about the same number of assists, which we'll get to the other one here in just a moment. But again, now we have Annalise Algaretti. We have 217 kills there from that young lady, 10 aces, 6 blocks, 55 digs, and 1 assist. Next, we have Katie Cusick, 9 kills, 48 aces, 1 block, 175 digs, and 457 assists. So Cusick and then Rahosia, that's 2 ladies right there that, from an assist standpoint, pretty evenly matched. We'll see, how they kind of mix them in, and because from a video aspect, I've seen very little video when it comes to Andrean. But again, from the little that I have seen, and then judging from the stats, they mix things up a little bit pretty well. Again, they have a nice, pretty decently balanced attack. Offensively, obviously Sanchez being the biggest key to all of those. But they have some really nice hitters on here. Another one here is Audrey Nohos, 164 kills, 3 aces, 59 blocks on the season, 39 digs, and 5 assists. And then lastly here, a couple other young ladies. Hannah Maurer, 93 kills, an ace, 29 blocks, 36 digs, and 1 assist. And then Molly Prisby, also 56 kills, 29 blocks. The reason I put those 2 ladies in there, just from a blocking standpoint, 29 blocks in the season. Now, that doesn't compare to what our girls have as far as our top-tier girls from a blocking standpoint, but they've had success, and those are hands that you've got to get the ball over or through in order to get find some open real estate out there on the floor. So those were the key players that I would really look at there. So again, you have Kara Schutz, Marin Sanchez, Varia Rahosia, and then you have Annalise Algaretti, Katie Cusick, Audrey Nohos, and Molly Prisby, as well as Hannah Maurer. So those are the young ladies I would really take a look at there if you're a Wapahani fan or just a volleyball fan in general. And again, this is a team that is very solid defensively. but has, some options on offense. Again, as I mentioned, Sanchez being the number one girl there when it comes to the 59ers. Now, both of these teams do have some common opponents, which is kind of something you don't see very often because of the difference in time between here and Andrean. We got about 2.5 hour drive or so. So there is a little bit of a difference there. But Wapahani and Andrean both have played Lake Central and Lafayette Central Catholic. You look at Lake Central, Wapahani defeated Lake Central back on August the 13th. Won that one. It was only 2 sets. That was to begin the year at the Invitational. Won out 25-19, 28-26. And then Andrean was defeated by Lake Central. Actually, in straight sets, Lake Central beat Andrean 25-19, 25-19, and 25-21. And that was back on August the 18th. And then Wapahani and LCC, obviously, we took care of business last Saturday, 25-18, 25-19, 25-11. And Andrean defeated LCC 25-16 and 25-22 back on August the 27th. So, again, just a couple of common opponents there. Not something you see very often, especially when you get this time of the year, when you have two teams that have played a couple of different or a couple of same opponents. So I just thought I'd throw that in there a little bit. But again, really a couple big keys for Saturday for Wapahani's standpoint. Number one, you've got to make the defense play of Andrean. You've got to have great court vision, court awareness, and making sure that you're able to find those gaps in defense, because I don't care what team it is, there's a gap somewhere. You've just got to find it. And it can be distracting, and with some of the blockers that they have and some key players on the back row that have really contributed greatly. It can be difficult, but I believe our girls can find those open pathways, I guess, if you will, to success and being able to get the job done and hopefully get the win. But then two other things is ball handling, which we talk about all the time. We've got to pass the ball very well. It happens, you're going to have errors here or there. You're going to shank one off to the right or to the left or backwards, or, heck, it might just float on over the net and someone might spike it right back down where it came from. You want to minimize that as much as possible. And so, again, our ball handling is going to be such an important key in today's game, or in Saturday's game, and every game, throughout the regular season. We always talked about that. So it's so important coming up on Saturday that we handle that situation well. And then lastly, you've got to keep the ball in bounds off the serve. I thought we did a really good job of that on Saturday. Might have a service error here or there, but I thought that Saturday was probably two of the best games that I had seen us this year of keeping the ball in play, forcing the defense to play it, and making them earn everything. And, again, I can't express that enough. You can't have free giveaways, especially in a game like this. You have this game Saturday where, every point matters so much. That can be a difference between a win in a set or loss, or even winning the game or not. So it is so important that you are able to take care of business behind the service line, and even when you're going on attack right here, you've got to keep the ball in play. And try to limit those hitting errors to where, again, when you look at what the 59ers have done, they have had success defensively, but, if you're just constantly keeping the ball in play and making them earn everything, somewhere along the line they're going to mess up, and that's where you've got to be right there able to execute on that opportunity and really cash in. So just some thoughts. I know on behalf of myself, Redbeard didn't say a word tonight, but, this is a big game. We're going to be there broadcasting it. Now, it's not going to be like normal, unfortunately. So, because obviously we did last weekend. It's on the website, which is scrolling right here on the bottom of your screen. So go ahead and take a good look at that. That's where you're going to find our broadcast. But as you see as well, it's going to be an audio-only game. Now, the reason that is because the IHSAA has exclusive video rights because they're going to be broadcasting that game. So you can just go on IHSAATV.org if you want to watch the live video broadcast, but it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you $10 to watch that. If you watch our game, again, it's an audio only, but I'll still have all the graphics on there as far as scoreboard and all that stuff. So, we'll be running commercials. So everything's going to be the same except for probably the most important part, and that's the video. So it's going to be an audio only broadcast for free. There's no cost whatsoever to watch our broadcast. If you choose to want to watch the video broadcast, then you'll have to go to IHSAATV.org and then find our game. It won't be broadcasted by us. It'll be broadcasted by the IHSAA. But then that's going to cost you $10 to watch Saturday afternoon's game. But again, with our game, audio only, it's free. Doesn't cost you a dime. Again, as I said, all the graphics are going to be on there. The scoreboard, commercials, all that stuff will stay the same. There just won't be any video. It's unfortunate. We would prefer, a video broadcast, but we're not able to. We're not allowed to, like I said, because of the exclusive video rights held by the IHSAA. So that's how it's going to be for Saturday. Again, we will be there broadcasting it. We hope you all are able to tune in. We hope you all can make the trip. It's about an hour and 45-minute drive, that's pretty far. It's a hike, but it's for a good cause and that means we're winning games and we're getting where we want to get to here. So we'll make the trip however far we got to go in order to broadcast some Wapahani Raider volleyball. And so we're looking forward to a great day there on Saturday. Again, Class 2A number 1 Andrean 59ers taking on the Class 2A number 2 Wapahani Raiders, coming up on 1 p.m. on Saturday, October the 29th of 2022. So we hope you all can tune in there for that. Again, that will be on our IHSAATV.org/Wapahani Raiders channel. Again, site, I guess, if you will, not channel, I guess, but that's going to be on there. Again, please spread the word where the game's at. We're going to put it on our social media sites again, but I know we had quite a few people that went to our YouTube channel, which is what we're on right now. You don't want to go there. That's not where the game will be. So just make sure to follow along, either going to this website that again is going to scroll on the bottom of your screen. That's the website you need to go to find our ball game on Saturday afternoon. But again, we'll be posting that on our Twitter page and our Facebook page. So please share that, like it, send it to everybody you know, and support the Wapahani Raider volleyball team this coming Saturday and hopefully beyond. So, folks, again, thanks for tuning in here with our 2022 IHSAA Class 2A North Semi-State Volleyball Preview Show. Again, until next time, I'm Brandon Morvillius, alongside cameraman Jordan Redbeard McCoy. We'll see you next time, folks. Have a great evening.